Jenny Eclair is here. Hello, Jenny.
Hello, Darren.
How are you?
Well, it's all very cumbersome, isn't it?
It's cumbersome, but it's also quite comfortable, I think.
Yes, we're comfortable on the sofa. But I feel like I'm in one of those very modern theatre things. You know, we're going to hear something on some headphones and you have to sort of, one of those immersive theatre things and something's going to happen. Either that or I'm flying a helicopter.
Yes, because we are filming this for the website, so if you're watching this, you'll be able to determine that. But if not, we both have, as you described them, sort of helicopter pilot headsets on with microphones attached under our chins and things.
All very complicated. Are we live?
We're live-ish.
On the radio?
We're alive on the radio. But
on Radio 4.
Recorded for indeed all over Scotland, in fact, and recorded for the website as well. So
super.
It's all going on. It's a multimedia extravaganza.
Who else have you had on today?
Giles Brandreth has been here.
Lovely Giles.
Lovely Giles.
He knows everything.
He does.
He genuinely knows everything.
He actually predated the internet and Google.
He is a walking encyclopedia. It's sort of fascinating, and then sometimes you think there's got to be something you don't know, but he kind of knows everything, and he knows it in Latin as well.
Yes.
But he's actually really rather charming and rather sweet.
He's a lovely man.
Yes. What's he doing up here?
He's doing a new show. It's called Exploring Happiness, I think is what it's called. But it's about finding happiness and the secret to happiness.
Oh dear.
Your show, and also Ed Byrne as well. You know Ed?
Yes, I know Ed well. Yes.
Eclairious is your show now.
Cunningly titled. There's loads of those around this festival.
There is a statistic which blows my mind, which was that it was 1995 that you won the Perrier.
Yes.
We're all still calling it the Perrier, of course.
I'm clinging to that anyway. Yes,
you've been coming here since then, if not
no,
before.
I've been coming a long time.
Yeah.
It took me 13 years to get that award.
Yeah.
It was kind of an award for stoicism coming back, really. It's over 30 years since I first came here.
And it's been pretty much unbroken for you, hasn't it?
No, that would be obsessive and kind of slightly worrying. No, it's not totally unbroken. I haven't done a run here for about 9 years. Last time I was here, I did a theatre show called The Andy Warhol Syndrome. But since then, I've come up to either do the book festival, because I've written a couple of novels since then. And actually, I haven't written I've written one novel since then. And what else have I done? I just come up to do sort of some charity gigs or just a minute or some of those recordings,
Yeah, but you've had a presence in August in Edinburgh.
I try.
Most years, I think.
I try, yes.
Yeah. How do you think it's changed over the years?
I think the food is phenomenal now. I mean, it's exhausting. I don't know where to go, but there are places to go to eat now. There never used to be. There never used to be any gyms either. I've been embarrassed into joining a gym only because it's next door to where I'm staying, and I come out and it sort of faces me on a daily basis, and so I've got no excuse whatsoever. And I do like swimming, so I've joined that for 2 weeks. And
is it a gym that's got a branch up here? Can you escape the madness of the festival to go and do a bit of a workout?
Well, when you say workout, I don't do a bit. It's got a pool. That's why I've joined it, because I like to swim.
A bit of swimming. So can you get away from the madness of the festival to indulge in it?
It's in the middle of town, but I can roll out of bed into this gym basically. So I'm going to do that as of tomorrow, she says. Just food stalls, food pop up, sushi that, nori there, all sorts of things. That we're never here.
Well, where we are right now, I'm sure you've explored the food area behind the TV here with all the local stalls.
Well, it's like a food festival.
It is, isn't it? And of course, there is a food festival in August as well now.
Is
in
there?
Edinburgh, yes.
Is that strictly necessary?
Well, given all the food we have here, I'd have to agree with your contention that it's not, but such a thing does exist. So that's one thing that you've noticed in terms of the change over the years. Yeah.
I worry. I think that the audiences are best off really and not sort of saving their money for show tickets. I think it's a bit worrying that they could actually suddenly look at their purse and go, oh, do you know what? I've just spent 19 quid on 3 coffees and a burrito.
Yes. Of course, the rise in the amount of food has gone up at the same rate as the number of gyms in the city as well.
Yeah, they're balancing each other out.
No coincidence, really. This is your first show, then, the first full show of this type that you've done for a while in Edinburgh. It's called Eclairious. We'll chat about it in just a couple of seconds. Jenny Eclair is here. We were talking food a few minutes ago. We're going to talk about the show Eclairious now, which is your first full show of this type for some time. It's on in this very building in the Gilded Balloon in the debating hall, so you don't have far to go.
Yes, it's upstairs from here. Oh, well, I do have far to go. It's up some windy stairs.
Yes.
And then I get very confused once I get backstage. because there's a green room where I have to sort of pick up my microphone and things like that. And then the dressing room's downstairs. But I keep thinking it's upstairs. And then, I'm lost in a turret. I had to find my way out. But it's, and I'm sharing a dressing room with some really nice people, actually. There are 11 ukulele players from New Zealand. One of them's got appalling feet like a smoked kipper. I have to open the windows every time I go in my dressing room. But, they've come a long way.
11 ukulele players?
11 ukulele
That must be
players.
all of the ukulele players in New Zealand.
I don't know. I think
It
they
must
breed
be.
them.
Really?
But they do seem really, really nice, and they wear nice clothes. So that's good. And then there's a woman who has a little sleep in there before her impro gig. I'm not sure which show she's from, but she's very nice. But it's all, it's Edinburgh is extraordinary. I mean, for those who've never come here to experience the festival, it's really difficult to explain quite how huge it is. And
getting bigger. It seems to constantly expand. There doesn't seem to be a natural limit to the size of this thing.
It is kind of worrying. Because you just think, hold on, how does anybody sort of find their way through the brochure? I think the festival app is extraordinary. Have you downloaded it?
I do have it. I've not had a chance to really play with it yet, but it does seem to be
like
a
magic in your hand. Yeah. It is extraordinary.
Is it through methods like that as a performer you can punch through that number of the other shows that are taking place?
I'm really sorry. Sorry, I can't hear.
Oh, I think we might be getting...
I've got some interference in my head. Sorry, it's okay. That's better. That's fine.
All right. I think maybe you were hearing a different program.
Okay.
Should we just pick up from there? So yes, I would say as a performer then, is it through something like the app does that help you punch through? No, I don't mean punch through in terms of all the other shows you're elbowing out of the way, but in terms of getting seen and heard.
No, it's what I want to go and see.
Oh, okay.
Because I like seeing things. I see at least a show a day. And I want to see lunchtime theatre. I'm less interested in the stand-up because if they're very good, I get very jealous. And then my self-confidence starts to rot away. I mean, that's the other thing about this festival is that it doesn't matter how many times you've been doing it, it does create a kind of madness that you don't experience really anywhere else. Not even at other festivals across the world like Melbourne or whatever, because this is so vast. And I think that there is kind of a slight paranoia that is easily caught. So you sort of are only as good as your very last gig. So you sort of start judging yourself, and you can easily damage yourself a bit.
And I think that's a paranoia and a madness that increases as the festival goes on. And by the time you get to the third week,
that's when I've gone home.
I mean, when it comes to booking, we're only here for this week. But when it comes to booking shows like this, our radio show, the number of changes that take place at the last minute,
because people can't get out, because people are broken.
Yes,
they're in their beds,
smashed,
broken,
literally smashed,
and they haven't got a pair of underpants. They've not had a clean pair of underpants on for a week. And it's and all there is in the kitchen is empty bottles of wine.
Yeah.
And that's when it. And then there's sort of the light at the end of the tunnel time. And that's the last week, and then all of a sudden it gallops through. And it's September.
There's a second, third, fourth wind by the very end, isn't there?
But I do agree that the third week is tough.
In terms of your show this year, then, what's been amusing you, and what do you find amusing, and what are you conveying to the audience?
The show's written. I'm not a banterer. I'm not a sort of. I don't sort of change it on a nightly basis or anything like that. I'm a very scripted because I'm a writer performer more than a stand-up. You know, it's by accident that I was ever called a stand-up. I think because I went to drama school and I write. So I put the two things together, and it's quite a theatrical stand-up-y thing, and. It is a huge showy-offy hour of just rolling around and stomping about and getting cross and not getting cross, and then just discussing what it is really to be. I suppose it's what it is to be a woman of my age, with all the things that go with that. But it's hopefully it's not. That sounds kind of like I'm ghettoising it a bit. It's not that narrow, because I think everybody. That's got a mother or an aunt or a sister has got somebody in the family who's a bit like me. So
I'm agreeing with that. I'm trying to think who the case might be in my family.
No, I'm trying to think who the case might be in my family, and I've realised it's me. And sometimes I think, oh God, you're a bit exhausting. But no, it's what I do. It's nice to come up here and sort of. I think also that it just gives you an annual kick up the arse a bit as well, because you sort of start doing the show, and then because you are repeating on a nightly basis, that makes you start to think about new stuff, because otherwise you'll get a bit bored.
And if you are a scripted comic and you create a very sculpted show with words, and you spend a long time doing that, as you said, you're not reacting to the audience, what they say, and you're not changing things as much as perhaps some other performers might. I guess that feedback, as you say, then feeds into your next show.
Yeah, definitely.
And so you don't...
Absolutely. You start putting the stepping stones down for the next show.
Not the next night, but the next show that you write, I guess.
Yeah. Though you might start dripping new stuff in. I've already, definitely every night I've done at least a few new lines, because for me, because I'm quite neurotic, I like to supply myself with a safety net of a show that is, holds me up, and I know the audience, will hopefully enjoy.
Yes.
And because that is so strong, hopefully strong, I can then start to muck about with it.
Okay. You've had a couple of shows already then, since you've been here. They've gone well?
Oh, well, yes, I think so. Well, particularly the first two. Last night, I think I overdid them a bit last night, and I think I exhausted them slightly. It was a Sunday night, and I forgot. And about 45 minutes in, I suddenly realised they're all a bit tired. And I thought, oh no, Jenny, shut up.
I love that. Jenny, thank you very much for joining us. The best of luck with the rest of the run, and we'll see you soon.
Okay, thank you very much indeed. Take care.
The greatest hits.